There's a wall of chipset names between you and the right motherboard, and none of them tell you what you actually need. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly which chipset is the right choice for your CPU. What does the chipset actually do? Before the letters, one thing needs to be clear. The chipset is not the whole motherboard. On AM5, the CPU itself handles the main PCIe connection for your graphics card, the primary NVMe connection, and some USB. The chipset adds everything around that: extra PCIe lanes, extra USB, SATA, additional M2 slots, more expansion. The chipset rarely touches CPU speed. It decides how much hardware you can connect, which standards are guaranteed, and how much room the motherboard maker has to build around the processor. Which also means two boards with the identical chipset can still be completely different products. A series. A is the entry point. On AM5, that's A620. You get DDR5, Expo memory overclocking, a PCIe 4 graphics connection, and Gen 4 NVMe. What's missing is CPU overclocking, PCIe 5, and a lot of extra high-speed I/O. Here's the part people get wrong. A620 doesn't quietly throttle a Ryzen 5 or Ryzen 7 just because it's the cheapest option. Feed the CPU properly, and it performs the same as on any pricier board. Your GPU is always wired straight to it anyway. Full speed, no matter the chipset. That makes A620 a sensible pick for something like a Ryzen 5 7600 or 9600X, and even efficient Ryzen 7 chips if you're building something simple. One GPU, one or two SSDs, no expansion plans. AMD's own compatibility list even shows A620 supporting CPUs as powerful as the Ryzen 7 9800X3D and Ryzen 9 9950X. That's a compatibility listing, not a recommendation. Drop a Ryzen 9 onto the cheapest A620 board on the shelf, and you'll start hitting a different ceiling: VRM quality, cooling, BIOS polish, none of which has anything to do with the chipset letter. A is for, I know exactly what I need, and I'm not paying for anything else. B series. B is where most gaming PCs belong. AMD has made this tier a little confusing though. The older B650 is still completely relevant, while the newer 800 series splits into B840 and B850, and those two sit much farther apart than their names suggest. B850 brings CPU overclocking, Expo, PCIe 5 on the primary NVMe slot, and more high-speed connectivity. The GPU link is officially PCIe 4, a non-issue for any current gaming GPU. B840 lands much closer to A620. No CPU overclocking, no PCIe 5, less high-speed I/O. DDR5 memory overclocking still works, but seeing a B up front doesn't guarantee a full mainstream feature set anymore. Worth remembering across this entire lineup: the letter tells you roughly where a product sits, not what's actually inside it. For a Ryzen 5, Ryzen 7, or an X3D gaming CPU, B650 or B850 is usually where I'd start, expensive gaming processors included. A Ryzen 7 X3D chip doesn't need X870 to feel like a high-end gaming CPU. The 9800X3D officially runs on B650 and B850 right alongside the pricier X series boards. Put it on a solid B850 and it performs exactly the same. One GPU, a couple of NVMe drives, normal USB devices, maybe a future upgrade. Paying extra for X series buys you almost nothing here. Even a Ryzen 9 can make sense on a good B series board. Again, the specific board matters more than the letter stamped on the box. X series. X is the high-end consumer tier. Current X870 boards guarantee PCIe 5 on the graphics slot and primary NVMe drive, support CPU and memory overclocking, and include USB 4 standard. None of that gives your Ryzen more frames per second though. What X actually buys you is everything around the CPU: more expansion cards, more fast storage, more USB, better odds of finding the exact rear I/O layout you want, and on pricier boards, stronger power delivery and more premium extras. There's a strange generational twist here too. X870 is newer than X670, but AMD lists 36 usable PCIe lanes for X870 against 44 for X670. X870 wins on PCIe 5 bandwidth and standard USB 4, but the older X670 board can still hand you more total expansion. Newer, in this case, doesn't mean more of everything. For CPU pairing, X870 starts earning its price around a high-end Ryzen 7 or Ryzen 9, when the rest of the build is high-end too. A 9800X3D gaming rig with a single SSD has no real use for it. A Ryzen 9 system running several NVMe drives, fast external storage, capture hardware, or extra networking? Now those extra platform features are actually working for you. The CPU is happy on cheaper boards. The rest of your system might not be. XE series. Technically, XE isn't its own chipset family. What matters is the E suffix, which has shown up on B650E, X670E, and now X870E. On this generation, X870 and X870E both deliver PCIe 5 graphics, PCIe 5 NVMe, CPU overclocking, and standard USB 4. The real gap is expansion. AMD lists 44 usable PCIe lanes on X870E versus 36 on X870, plus more chipset USB and SATA. So E isn't a speed upgrade for the CPU, it's more I/O budget for the motherboard maker to spend. This tier fits someone building around a Ryzen 9, several fast SSDs, multiple expansion devices, and heavy external connectivity, or someone who just wants the premium board and doesn't mind paying for headroom they might never use. A Ryzen 9 9950X or 9950X 3D pairs naturally here, but it's not a requirement. AMD officially supports both on far cheaper AM5 chipsets. Worth repeating, a 9950X 3D doesn't run any faster because the box says X870E. TRX series. TRX is where we leave regular Ryzen behind. TRX50 runs on the STR5 socket and is built for Ryzen Threadripper. Here, the extra connectivity stops being a luxury. It is the point of the platform. Current TRX50 supports 4-channel DDR5 RDIMM memory, up to 1 TB of RAM, and close to 90 usable PCIe lanes, the vast majority running at PCIe 5. That's a different scale entirely from AM5. Built for multiple GPUs, large NVMe arrays, professional capture hardware, high-speed networking, accelerators, and workloads that genuinely eat memory bandwidth for breakfast. CPU pairing here is simple. Regular Threadripper belongs on TRX50. Threadripper Pro can live here too, if you don't need everything WRX90 offers. Nobody buys TRX50 because their B850 board ran out of USB ports. You buy it because a normal desktop platform ran out of platform. WRX series. WRX90 takes the same idea and pushes it further. Built for Threadripper Pro, it doubles memory channels from 4 to 8, supporting up to 2 TB of DDR5 RDIMM. AMD lists 144 usable PCIe lanes, with up to 128 of those on PCIe 5. That means several high-end GPUs, huge NVMe storage, and specialized PCIe hardware, all running simultaneously without fighting over bandwidth. WRX90 also adds AMD Pro features built for professional workstation environments. For a gaming PC, this platform is comically overkill. For rendering, simulation, AI development, or any workload that needs serious expansion, it solves problems AM5 was never designed to touch. And this is one of the few places where CPU pairing gets rigid. If you want the full capability of a Threadripper Pro 9000WX chip, WRX90 is the platform it was built for. What the chipset name doesn't tell you. One trap left. Don't treat the chipset name as shorthand for motherboard quality. It won't tell you how good the VRM is, how big the heatsink is, which audio codec is on board, whether networking is 2.5, 5, or 10 gigabit, which Wi-Fi generation you're getting, how many M2 sockets the manufacturer actually fitted, how polished the BIOS is, or whether the rear I/O has the ports you actually need. A well-built B850 board can genuinely outperform a cheap X870 as a product, and a discounted older B650 or X670 can be a far better deal than a brand new 800 series board. The chipset hands the manufacturer a feature budget. It says nothing about how well they spent it. So which one should you buy? Start with the CPU you already chose. Simple Ryzen 5 build? A 620 covers it. B650 or B850 buys you more flexibility and is usually the safer long-term pick. Ryzen 7 and gaming-focused X3D chips? B650 and B850 remain excellent matches. You don't need X series just because the CPU was expensive. AMD's current AM5 compatibility spans Ryzen 7000, 8000, and 9000 across both the 600 and 800 series boards, though older older 600 series boards may need a BIOS update first. Ryzen 9 can still run great on B850, but X870 gets easier to justify once you need more storage, USB 4, or expansion room. X870E is for builds where you already know you need serious I/O, or where budget on the motherboard simply isn't the constraint. Threadripper moves you to TRX50. Threadripper Pro with maximum memory and expansion moves you to WRX90. The rule that actually holds up. Don't buy a chipset for the CPU tier. Buy it for the connections and features your complete system needs. Because the best motherboard was never the one with the priciest chipset. It's the one that gives your processor everything it needs, without charging you for 10 features you'll never touch. So, which AMD chipset are you using right now? And did you choose it for the CPU, the features, or just because it was the board that made the most sense at the time? Let me know in the comments. And if you found this video helpful, drop a like and subscribe for more hardware breakdowns.